Helped him murder Mysterio?
No, I didn't.
Come on,
anybody.
Whoa. He did
All this time, people looked up to this boy and called him a hero. Well, I'll tell you what I call him. Public enemy number one.
Kate Bishop.
Hi. I made macaroni if you want some.
All the explanation you need. No. What do you mean, no?
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast. It feels like it's been a while. If you're listening or watching, it hasn't, but we took a week off. Ooh, through the magic of pre-recording, you didn't notice.
Pre-recording and recording twice in 1 week.
Yes, there's that too. It was exciting. It was nice. I don't know. It was nice to take a week off, but now I'm like ready because I think I missed it.
Yeah.
But get the what was the term? The pop culture fix.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, nothing came out. So this week we will be talking about our favorite '60s movies.
Yep.
It's gonna be great.
The quality.
Yes. No, we actually got a pretty good show. We're gonna start out with Spider-Man: No Way Home. We're gonna go into Hawkeye after that. Last 3 episodes of Hawkeye, and just kind of our thoughts overall on the series. And then we got The Matrix Resurrections, which I think I'm interested to get to that discussion.
Yeah.
But I think of the 3 topics, I'm the one I think will be the least interesting. Honestly, would be Hawkeye, and I think there's a lot to talk about there.
I did enjoy the last 3, but I do agree there is a lot to talk about, but I don't think we'll be spending that much time, or I hope we spend more time on it, because there was a lot to talk about with that whole series and the concluding 3 episodes of Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to spoil the shit out of all this stuff. Just FYI. We always spoil the shit out of it, but...
It has been out for 10 days.
Yes.
I think it's fair.
Well, if you're clicking on a podcast where that's the discussion point, it's going to get spoiled. I feel like that's kind of just to be assumed. If you don't want it spoiled, why are you clicking on this?
Also, I think with also doing this and having to follow information on films and new releases, it kind of also has a tendency to get spoiled for you before you even have a chance to see it.
Yes.
Which, since we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, I'll lead, right? Going into this, I had a lot of it already spoiled for me. What about you? Did you go in completely blind, or did you have any potential things spoiled for you?
There was all the rumors going around, obviously. I don't think I had any direct spoilers.
There was a few that I thought, I mean, okay. Well, I think you and I have said this before, or at least I think I've said this to you. How are you going to have, all 3 of the primary villains from Tobey's franchise and the 2 from Andrew Garfield's franchise and not have Tobey and Andrew? It is idiotic, and it is assuming that the audience is stupid.
Well, I could see a scenario where that possibly happens. That being said, it would be a huge fucking missed opportunity for them. It would be incredible for them not to be in it. That being said, I was really trying to keep my my expectations low. I'm not gonna not necessarily low, but I don't want to get my hopes up to see them and then them not be there and still have a good movie on my hand, just be mad at because they weren't there. I don't want that. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there watching this, and I was like, I wonder what will end up being true. And immediately, as soon as Daredevil popped up, that's when I was like, oh, it's all true.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's in this. Everybody.
Awesome. This is why they say it's endgame level. I get that now.
Yeah.
This is cool. This is cool.
Well, of all the characters, like, they really, like, tried to be like, oh, no, he wasn't on set when there was report that he was on set. And I kind of went with it, and it was also, of all the characters, he was the least necessary. They could have anybody there.
Yeah.
But they brought him in, and as soon as he popped up, and I was like, oh. Yeah, they're all here. They're all... At that point, it was just waiting for Andrew and Toby to pop up.
Yeah. But I still really thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was just so good.
This was fantastic. This is one of the best Spider-Man movies. Yeah. It is easily the best MCU Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like, its only competition is Spider-Man 2 and Into the Spider-Verse, and I haven't sat down and done a thorough examination. I think I probably still lean towards those two being better than this. That being said, that's incredible company for it to keep. The fact that it's even in comparison is an accomplishment. Because those are great movies, and this is a great movie as well.
Yeah. Like, it did take, like, the liberties with mostly, like, I'm just going to say the Aunt May saying with great power line.
Yeah.
But it had just as much weight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And that whole scene, even when Goblin comes in and pumpkin bombs the hell out of the place
and
end up killing Aunt May, that was, like, I guess that was our universe's Peter's, like, big moment.
Yeah.
You know, like his Uncle Ben moment. Though we never really saw it, and Uncle Ben was already out of the picture. But I don't think they ever really mentioned Ben, at least other than just, like, throwaway dialogue.
Yeah, just a little bit here and there. But what was great about this movie is because it already brought in Andrew and Toby, you know, it brings it in after this point. Late Act 2, early Act 3 is when they come in. So pretty far into the game. But since it's already like, oh yeah, here's other Spider-Mans, it feels like it would almost feel redundant to do the same thing with Tom Holland at this point. It's like, it's already acknowledging we've done this a couple times before. We don't need to do this exact thing again. We can mess with the details a bit.
Yeah, we can pepper in our own.
Yeah.
Because we've already taken a few different changes with the lore that everyone is very familiar with. Like, even in the beginning when Ned and MJ and Peter are all, like, taken into questioning. You know, they say, we know your last name. We know what your real name is, Miss Watson. It's like, and she's like, no, I don't go by that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right there, it's like, okay, so that is confirming she is Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah.
Or MJ Watson. Like, just confirming that. That was, like... one of the smaller points of this actually one of the many smaller things I really enjoyed about this movie, like that. Oh gosh, yeah. There's I don't know. What's some other things that you really enjoyed about it?
Like I said, obviously bringing in Andrew and Toby was great. Everybody talked about how great Andrew was, and the thing I always like to remind people is it's not necessarily that he was the best, but he was definitely the most improved. They did a lot. Like, I feel like he really redeemed himself after Amazing Spider-Man 2 here. He did a great performance. They gave him great stuff to work with. Like,
they did, and they really gave him, like, the best arc in his time in this movie.
Oh, yeah. It was the best arc he's had on the movies, period. Better than anything he did in the other two movies. I'll just get right...
You see, Sodi, if you let Marvel write Marvel properties...
Yeah. It was great. Like, I'll go ahead and get to it. That moment where he catches Michelle when she falls. Yeah. Oh, that was wonderful. Oh my god.
I'm not made of stone.
I know.
I'm not made of stone. I cried. I was like tearing up a little, like, you fucking did it, man.
Yeah.
Did it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I had a feeling it would happen, and it made me so happy to see. It really did. I was just, oh god, for real though. Oh, did you? So, how about you talk about your theater experience, and I'll share mine.
Theater experience?
Or we could talk about that when I get back. Yeah,
I was actually kind of surprised how many people were in the theater. I guess they aren't doing any sort of reserved seating anymore. That being said, myself and my family are all fully vaccinated at this point, and I'm boosted. So, yeah, I'm not super concerned, but yeah, I was surprised how many people were filled up in there. I
think there was 2 empty seats.
Yeah.
And they were handicapped.
Yeah, won't surprise me. I will say I got my seats 2 days before. Like, we went on the Thursday night, so I went ahead and got them on Tuesday. And there were very few actual seats available. And I had to get 3 in a row.
Oh, God.
So I got the seats, like, I think, I want to say it was second row, like, to the right side. So if you look at the actual picture, it looks awful. Like, it's just, like, a little bit, like, right up to against the screen.
So it's kind of almost like you're doing the credit crawl look from Star Wars the whole time.
Yes. But that being said, it's actually a nice theater. And the seats are never as bad as they look. And yeah, when we got into position, it was great. We had wonderful seats. So it worked out great.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I got up in the pavilion. Well, for some reason, when I logged into the website for the theater, one that I do, like, I'll go, like, I usually will go to the Cinemark here because I kind of like it. And with that one, I don't have to really sign up for their call or anything.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I don't have to do that. So
just be like me and sign up for AMC everything. I'm not sure how much you're gonna get with that.
Oh, just really, like, everyone was piled up on top of each other. Not really that, but we were definitely, like, deep in that theater, and I was kind of surprised at how packed that theater really was. Not a lot of reaction throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. I was like kind of like thinking like, okay, nothing for Andrew, nothing for Toby. I mean, there was a little bit of cheering here and there, and like gasps when Aunt May died.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, nothing too serious. I mean, the guy who was sitting next to me, I think he and I chuckled at all the old callback lines.
Yeah.
Like at the end after the battle when when Toby runs into Doc Ock and they have the same dialogue that they do when they first meet. Like, both he and I were just like, that was nice. That was a nice touch. That was nice.
Well, I noticed in my theater, it felt like Andrew had a little bit, and I was like, oh, when Toby shows up, it'll blow up. And then there wasn't really a huge one for Toby. It's kind of surprising. I thought there'd be a lot more for Toby. No.
I was like, what's the love for Toby going?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh.
Toby actually had a trilogy, man.
He stopped a runaway subway. This man is a hero.
Yeah.
I did really love the banter between the three of them.
Oh, yeah. I love the fascination with Toby's web shooters.
It's like breathing. I just do it.
Yeah. Does it come out anywhere else or just your wrist?
It's like, wait, I'm still on the whole, like, you went to space.
Yeah.
And fought in.
Yeah. I fought an alien. I didn't fight one in space.
I'm still on the you're in space.
Yeah.
Like, that whole bit, I was like, wow, could we like have another 20 minutes of that?
I know. Well, what the other bit I also like was guys, just to let you know, I was in the Avengers, and they're like, oh my god, that is so cool.
It's the Avengers.
What is that?
Dude, are you in a band?
Yeah. Was that band? Is that band? That's cool, man.
You're in a band? That's really cool. Yeah, that was really funny.
No, they pop up really late in the game, but they have a fairly substantial role, and they give them as much to do as possible.
Yeah, the same can't be said for Sandman or Lizard, but
no. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was watching it thinking, oh god, they're like, obviously they got Thomas Hayden Church and Rhys Ifans. I'm probably sorry. His name.
They got them to do some voice work.
Yeah, they got them in the sound booth, but it seemed like for a while they weren't going to see them physically at all. And then, for seconds at the end.
Thomas Hayden Church, but I'm pretty sure that was reused footage. The same with Rhys.
Oh, was it just reused? It was seconds. So it might have just been reused footage.
That shot of him from the top of Captain Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure that was a shot from 3. Like, I'm almost certain because he kind of looked superimposed in there. And that one shot of Rhys, I'm like, he's really up close and slightly out of focus.
Yeah.
This also might be the same thing.
It didn't occur to me it might be archive footage, but one surprised me because they are there for seconds physically.
They are. But still, though, all great.
Mm-hmm.
Even the banter between them was great.
Yeah.
You know, I cure you of that. Does it mean turning me into a lizard?
Well, it's worth noting there is no Sinister Six. It's a Sinister Five.
No.
All the villains were revealed. Oh.
It's a Furious Five.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I would say Ferocious, but Craven wasn't in there, though.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I did see his shadow at the end.
Oh yeah, there was all types of shadows at the end.
I mean, I definitely saw Rhino, and the guy with what looked like the boa and the staff. I mean, that's probably Craven.
Maybe I wasn't even picking out there was one that I thought might be Namor, and then that's about all as far as I got.
Well, as soon as I saw Rhino, I was like, wait, that looks like a Rhino. Oh God, who else is in here? And then I tried to study really quick.
Yeah. No, you only get a few seconds with that.
Yeah, and those are the two that I thought I saw, and then I scoured other people who had talked about that scene, and yeah, I wasn't crazy.
Yeah, they definitely had silhouettes there. I couldn't. You got more than I did, clearly. But
I also kind of like how this movie almost teased about maybe Ned possibly turning into Hobgoblin.
Yeah, we have to see. Because this movie,
we have to see. Yeah.
This is not an ending story at all. Obviously, they're gonna get Tom Holland. I suspect they're gonna try to get him down for another trilogy.
I'm pretty sure that they do have him for another 3.
Yeah, the rumors went all over the place, and Tom Holland was saying, "I'm not gonna do this until I'm 30." And looking back on that conversation, on all those reports of him saying that's just the type of shit you do when you're going into contract negotiations and you don't want to make it easy.
Yeah, and you want to hold out for a little bit more money and some wiggle room.
Yeah.
He's a smart kid.
I don't want to do it till I'm 30. Dude, that's like 5 years away. I hate to tell you this. I know at your age it seems like well off. It's a blink, man.
It's a blink, and you could do it till pretty much you're 35.
Oh, yeah. Heck, people are still wanting Spider-Man 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 3. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big...
Well...
I will say...
There's a lot that's interesting.
Yeah. I will say there's a big push on the fan community for Amazing Spider-Man 3. And this is all rumors from one of the seedier comic book sites I don't really take much into. But according to them, one of the deals for Sam Raimi coming in and doing Doctor Strange 2 was that he would get to do Spider-Man 4 after that.
The way he wanted to do Spider-Man 3.
And there also is a rumor that Tobey Maguire is going to be in Doctor Strange 2, which, like I said, this is a seedier site, so all this you got to take with a grain of salt.
Well, I mean, that's the most likely. But there's only one bit of Doctor Strange news that I really care about. And that's who is Bruce Campbell playing?
Oh, good point. Yes, we still don't know that. He's got to be in it.
And is Ted going to be in it? I hope Ted's in it. Please make him a mayor's aide.
No. Bring Ash in for a second. I know Bruce said he's done, but bring Ash in for a moment.
Oh, for
a cameo.
He'd probably just make Bruce probably the equivalent of the Stan Lee cameo because, I mean, Bruce could do it.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it, and I feel he's just as beloved. And, I mean, he was a character in Marvel Zombies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was.
Technically, if they do go that route... it would be setting up.
But
Bruce has also said he's never playing Ash again. So.
Yeah, he has, but if he brings him in for a cameo, I could see him doing it for a cameo.
Bruce just played some seedy guy running for governor, and Ted being his aide.
Oh God,
love it.
I could definitely see it. Of course, these are guys that are already technically in the multiverse already established. Bruce could come back as a ring announcer.
Or a snooty maitre d'.
Yeah, I was about ready to say a snooty Frenchman. I am French.
I mean, that whole time, I couldn't tell if he was doing more Peter Sellers shtick or Monty Python shtick.
I think
it was like...
I think it was a mix, but I didn't care because that was such a highlight of Spider-Man 3. That was so funny.
Well, Bruce was a highlight in all of them.
Yes.
Like all
yeah.
of them. I only wish he could have gotten Ted in there.
Well, we had Hoffman, so we could get Hoffman.
No, wait, Ted was in one of them. I think he was in the second one.
No, Ted was in all three.
Was he?
Hoffman's in all three, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's right. That's right. He works at the Bugle.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. He's the guy that always gets shit on by Jameson.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, Sam would put his brother in that role.
Yeah.
Like, all right, JK, just fucking unleash on him.
Yeah.
He could take it. He's my brother. Trust me, he could take it.
Listen, this is one of the roles I've given him with more dignity.
And I also got to say that I did really appreciate the use of J. Jonah Jameson in this movie.
Yeah.
Really appreciated the use of him, and it's kind of like, oh god, finally! It's always kind of just been there in the background in the last one, or actually not really, because they only showed that at the teaser of that, but they never really made any mention of J. Jonah Jameson, and I was kind of surprised, because we'd see the Bugle, but no mention of JJ.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that's very un-JJ.
Yeah, he is. He's the MCU's Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And it was pretty obvious before that they just had to add it on with him selling some supplement bullshit. It's like, oh god.
My god, yeah, that was so funny.
It's like, yeah, he's full of shit.
I really loved the one that was clearly done in a spare room.
Yeah. Just some green cloth behind him.
I almost spit my soda out, actually, at that. That's hilarious. Oh, look at that tape job on that green screen.
Yeah.
And then it went to the big studio, and I went, okay, that's much better.
And, I don't even remember. I probably didn't even think to look, but wouldn't surprise me if in that the green screen one, if you look under the table, he's not wearing pants or something.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh gosh, I really did like the new and improved villains, I guess, or not really improved, but they really just gave them so much room to work and be such great characters. Obviously, like I said, minus Sandman and Lizard because they really didn't do much, and I don't know. I didn't like how they kind of had him as a sand person through most of it.
Yeah.
Which kind of made me think.
Especially when it was already established that he can largely make himself fairly normal. I mean, he's still sand, but he can make himself look and act fairly normal, so you don't notice.
He kind of looked like Cliff from Doom Patrol.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I was wondering, so is he going to start rocking a Dead Kennedy shirt at some point?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fucking rad.
In fact, I was even thinking, is there a point to them being in this movie outside of just bringing in the main antagonist from the 5 previous movies?
No, that's the plot. That's
because I'm
and
trying
I guess
to think.
padding maybe.
And if they brought in one more, they come to Sinister Six, but they didn't even do that. And that one
they could have
been
even
tough
brought
to
back
do.
Keaton.
Yeah. Well, it would have been tough to do Sinister Six because, more spoilers, Dr. Octopus is only a villain very briefly in this movie. Yeah. He pops.
He does help out at the end, which is
super.
I was happy about that. I was like, oh yeah. It's one of the things I like about this movie. It gives all the villains, all these villains get proper closure, and I think the Andrew movies really benefit from that because, especially Electro. Lizard did okay on closure. He got essentially a repeat of his closure, but Electro definitely needed something better, and he got a lot better here. Yeah, they improved that character so much. And
just having Andrew interact with him was just so much better than Andrew just electrocuting him to death, which
via dubstep.
Yeah, the dubstep.
I will say this though, I did really enjoy the score because I don't know if you picked up on this, but when Andrew came in, there was a slight raise of the score, but it was from his movies.
Yeah, no, they
same
did that.
with Toby's.
Mm-hmm.
I really kind of enjoyed that, and they even did that at the end throughout all the closures from that different genre. Like it played when he and Doc Ock met, just very slightly, and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice touch. That was nice.
Well,
I liked it."
Was it Michael Giacchino? I want to say he's done the scores for most of these Spider-Man movies for the MCU. He's done a fantastic job, and usually Spider-Man scores are pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
I mean,
he's doing a great job. Yeah,
like that classic Spider-Man song, which was originally written and recorded by the Ramones.
The classic Spider-Man song.
Yeah.
That was something he put together for Homecoming, and
yeah, the Ramones did that. You know, Johnny fucking Ramone.
Yeah, the Ramones.
Actually, it was Dee Dee who wrote it in one of his brief sober periods.
Well, they did it specifically for that movie, right?
No, I think they covered it as like one of their later live releases, or like I think they did it for like maybe an '80s cartoon.
Yeah. But yeah,
I can't remember. But I know the Ramones didn't write that song.
No, of course he did.
I don't know. Pretty fucking cool if they did. It's pretty fucking cool. What else haven't we discussed?
Oh well, yeah. Let's see. Well, we haven't really said anything about Willem Dafoe, who
fucking steals the show.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, he is the main villain here. And it's kind of the reverse. Like, Dr. Octopus shows up on the scene, he's the villain, but then he fixes his chip, and he's essentially a good guy for the rest of the movie. And then when Green Goblin shows up, you see him smash the mask. He seems like he's rejecting the Goblin personality. And I'm not sure for how long it was actually an act for, because, like, when he's by himself, it seems like that it can't be an act. But there's a point where it's clear that the Goblin's taken over and that, you know, the Norman that's been trying to help out has just been bullshit.
Yeah. Like, I did like how we literally got to see Willem Dafoe change from Norman Osborn to the Green Goblin.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of digging when I knew he was going to be in this, and I did find out it was something that he only agreed to it under a few conditions. One of them was that he did his own stunts.
Yeah, I saw that one. I was like, that's awesome.
and he's not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And I am so happy that they agreed to that because, this is why he didn't want to wear a mask. I mean, going back and watching that first Spider-Man, you could even see through like that little mouthpiece and his eyes, like the scenes when the I guess the eye coverings are down or his shades. Yeah. But you could see his face moving, and you could only imagine with, it's Willem Dafoe. You could imagine what his face is doing under there.
Yeah.
But this, like, oh, God, beautiful.
I mean, that was always, like, probably one of the biggest issues with the first Spider-Man is just that costume for Green Goblin is just nowhere. But Willem Dafoe kicks ass.
Oh, he's even great, but I mean, I don't know. Even though, and I even did some fun, like going further back, like about a year, 3 years, or even before Homecoming, and people talking about both Spider-Man's like franchises before there was even Civil War. People like who I found that at that point in time, before we knew there was going to be a new Spider-Man series, a lot of people would go back and kind of trash on those Raimi trilogy.
Oh yeah,
their campiness. Now, I get it. Yes, those films are campy, but I don't think they're overly campy. I think that's the appropriate amount of camp for a movie with the word directed by Sam Raimi.
Well, I think what's great about that. Go ahead and finish your point.
I was going to say, sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, I expect that being a fan of that director. So, and knowing like where he came from and what his shtick is and knowing how much of a Stooges fan, I expect a lot of shtick in it. But also that is how comic book movies really were at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, like at that point, one could even argue that those Fantastic Four movies with Steve Rogers as Johnny Storm, could pretty much be the same universe.
Yeah.
Never really confirmed in that sense, but like I can't think of any characters that appeared in those three Spider-Man movies that appeared in those Fantastic Four films or even the first
different studios.
Well, yeah. but yeah, different studios. I think that no wait, those first two were Fox, weren't they?
The Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba and Michael Chiklis are Fox, yes. And then Sony has all the Spider-Man movies.
I'm sorry, he just has a funny last name, Chiklis.
Yeah. Hey, he did a great job in those movies.
He did a great job as
credit,
Ben. Yeah. No, nothing against the role. He was great. Actually, one of my favorite parts of those movies.
Yeah, no,
and also the guy who played Reeve.
Yeah, the guy who did
so
Reeve, Ian Grufford. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dance scene was really bad, dated CGI. Even at the time, it was kind of
But like if I were to recast the four, I would still pick him as Reeve. Tell him to dial it back.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the guy who played Doctor Doom, I think he could probably do a good Doctor Doom, but it's like the people who wrote that movie don't understand Doctor Doom
They didn't know
all.
Doctor Doom. Nobody has written Doctor Doom well, unless it's animated.
Well,
actor, sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say the most accurate Doctor Doom we've gotten is from fucking Michael Corman, Roger Corman. I mean, what the fuck is wrong?
Well, I mean, I don't know about who could write a good Doctor Doom. Maybe the Russos. Maybe.
Yeah, I at this point, I'd let the Russos do largely any comic book thing they want, if they want to.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they could fix Steel.
Oh shit! But we're keeping Shaq.
There is one actor who I would the nemesis will be Rodman versus Shaq.
Oh god!
Oh man! Yes, we need to get a studio on the phone, man. But the actor I think who could portray Doom is I always forget his last name, but Javier, villain from Skyfall.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
He could do any villain, though. He's a great actor. He could probably do anything, but he's been so typecast as a fucking villain. But yeah, he'd be as scary as fuck, Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, I was thinking about that today. Like, if I could recast, cast a Fantastic Four film, that's about as far as I've gotten with my cast. Johnny Storm, I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. But also, I kind of want to see Channing Tatum in it because I'm curious how he could do. I've seen him do serious dramatic, and I've seen him do like comedic dramatic.
Well, there's been so many fan castings of that movie, and I just kind of want to see what Marvel does because they are nailing the casting. Man,
too. But I did notice something that was interesting. That I noticed this in like Hawkeye. And it was just a background shot of like one of the ones later in an episode. Like I'll bring this up again when we get to Hawkeye. But since New York, we're in the same city. It showed a skyline shot of like probably like I want to say maybe Hell's Kitchen because it did show a character who was around there. And there was like some industrial smoke coming up, purposely blocking what was once like the Avengers Tower area. And I know that in the Far From Home, they had said that, they sold that building and, the Avenger or Tony Stark sold the building to somebody. They don't know who. And there's been speculation that it is that because at the end, that end credit scene of the second Spider-Man, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we're going to be working or coming or like, come back for a little more or something. They had that construction site. And for some reason, they were all color coded with the numbers, but 4 was blue. Yeah. So that led speculation into, Fantastic Four. So in the theory that it is in that same city and universe, I mean, that could have been a lead-in for it. And that's kind of what made me start thinking about it because, I mean, I'm not too familiar with Fantastic Four. From what I remember from the Saturday morning cartoon, which was, still like early 90s. Mid-childhood.
I've read some of them in the late 90s. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's just been a while. So I mean, I do remember Kingpin popping up in various different Marvel properties were on like the Fox network all the time. So like I remember him being in Daredevil and Spider-Man quite a bit. And I remember being in a Fantastic Four one, or there was one where they all or some of them teamed up.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Oh, I was just my huge thing. I was just going to go back to Spider-Man because the campiness is something they've criticized it for a lot, and I always thought there was like a great mix because it's a fun campiness, But then when the movie wanted to get serious and wanted to be tear-jerking, those movies could do it.
It did.
Very well.
It really did. But with the Andrew Garfield 2 series, like those I felt wanted to kind of be a more grounded in reality. Yes. And, you know, so when they were talking of dark subject matter, it got dark.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is not that lighthearted of a story. Mm-hmm. I mean, it deals with loss and, you know, living with the regret of, you know, wanting to be. And yeah, that's something that I really appreciated about these. Though they kind of took what they did and how they presented Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, I wasn't a fan of, but the way he played the character did grow on me throughout both movies.
Yeah. Well, I think what really hampers the Amazing Spider-Man movies is that they're trying so hard not to be the Sam Raimi movies. And if you're spending so much time not to be the Sam Raimi movies, part of your problem is that the Sam Raimi movies are largely good. Sure, you could poke fun at 3 all you want, because there's plenty of things to poke fun at 3 at. But
plenty. Like
the first 2, especially the second one, are fucking great. And even 3 has its moments. So
yeah,
if you're trying just not to be that, it's
I
better
really
to come up your own thing. Come on.
Yeah, I really think if Universal just let Raimi do what he wanted to do and not introduce Venom until the 4th movie, like
it was Sony.
It was Sony, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Sony, yeah. They wanted, they were pushing for Venom to be in there, and he's like, no, I don't want to do Venom just yet.
I want to say Avi Arad has been the big guy pushing Venom. I think he was a big guy behind the current Venom franchise as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, like, you know, I think Venom's an interesting character in a comic book. I think where he's most interesting is as an antagonist to Spider-Man. But I'm kind of sick of it at this point, too. They just keep on forcing him in there. I guess we might as well get to the mid-credit here, where we actually get Venom.
We see Tom Hardy at the bar wherever Venom took him to.
Yeah.
And and the bartender's telling Tom Hardy pretty much about everything that had just happened. The blip, Ultron, the whole works. Just filling him in on the past, 20 plus years of MCU history.
Yeah.
And, he goes on like, so wait, there's a big guy. He's green and he just destroys stuff. It's like, yeah. There's another guy. He's like a god. He has this hammer.
Yeah.
And the purple guy with the stones, like he made mention of all that. And I think he'd made some mention of Ultron too. And then, we see him kind of phase back into his own reality, kind of like how Peter and Andrew or Toby, Andrew, and all of them and everyone else did at the end of the film. And we see a drop of symbiote land on the bar, and start to reach out, and then it cuts. So that is how the symbiote is now going to be in the MCU.
Which I guess, I mean, obviously they're not going to. Well, wait, they are doing Secret Wars. What am I even talking about?
They are.
I was about ready to say that it's not like they're going to do Secret Wars. Wait, they're fucking doing Secret Wars. It's already announced.
They are doing it. Yeah, and I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fucking awesome. Yeah.
But that seems like the obvious opportunity to introduce the black suit.
Yeah, but I mean, I also kind of wish Cap was here for that, but that's just me.
We're getting Sam Cap, so
we are, and that's a great Cap too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss Chris Evans, but he did a great job, and I can't ask anymore. So I
can't really, I can't ask any more of it of him. But we are forgetting at the end battle where I just realized we didn't talk about the final battle between Willem Dafoe and Tom Holland.
Yeah, that Venom fight. Whoa.
Yeah, Venom just came in, bitch slapped Willem Dafoe. Credits rolled. It was beautiful.
No.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. But I definitely have to add to that.
Well, how Tom Holland was ready to kill Green Goblin the same way that Willem Dafoe died in the first Spider-Man movie, but Toby jumps in and kind of saves him, and he does get stabbed for his effort, but Andrew
he's been stabbed before.
Yeah, he's been stabbed before. I'll admit, in the theater When I saw that, I was like, I swear to God. I was like, well, I knew one of them would die.
Mm.
This is probably Toby's way of doing it. I'll come back, just fucking kill me.
Yeah.
But nope, he's fine. He's
Yeah.
been stabbed before.
Yeah.
You're in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
Yeah. Yeah, I love their interactions. It works
Yeah,
so well.
the interactions between the two of them in particular were really funny.
Yeah.
Like, that was a real natural chemistry that they had, I thought.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like, could we have, like, the two Spider Bros, the two big Spider Bros,
Mhm.
out do two big brother spider adventures?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was kind of great. I will say this. There are lots of people talking about that big fight between Tom Holland and Green Goblin, saying that it was a nastier Green Goblin fight than we've ever seen before. I want to say it wasn't... I didn't think it was incredibly well edited. It got kind of sloppy as to exactly what was going on. And it is not nearly as nasty as that final fight they have in the 2002 one.
Oh, yeah, no, that one is... Yeah, this one was a little bit more clearer.
Yeah.
But there were some jarring edits here and there. But, I mean, this isn't the only time we're going to be talking about jarring edits.
Ooh, you could have some more. I'm interested.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Mhm.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Don't worry. I think I sent them into you as a rant earlier this week.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. We got to Doctor Strange. Oh yeah, we need to talk about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He gives Peter a lot of shit in this, and that motherfucker did not explain the spell to him at all.
No.
He's literally
He didn't even listen to Wong.
Yeah. No, like, he's like, oh yeah, we can cast this spell to fix it. And then he's like, nice knowing you. And he's like, wait, you don't have to forget me. What the fuck's going on? He's like, oh no, everybody will forget you. It's like, well, maybe you should tell him that before. And then the fact that he can actually start excluding people. Jesus Christ, dude, plan this out. Obviously, Spider-Man does not know the details of your magic, and you do. You need to sit down with him and figure this shit out, and then cast the fucking spell. And then
he is a kid.
Oh,
you also should have listened to Wong in the first place.
Even if he's not a kid, if he's a fully grown adult, let's assume he doesn't know magic. Dude,
yeah.
What are you doing casting this without sitting down and figuring out the details? Figuring out if he definitely wants to do this. Figuring It's like, dude, you are not blameless in this. You are neck deep.
You're not off the fucking hook here, Steven.
Yeah. Well, when Michelle was giving him shit, it's like, yeah, thank you.
It's like, thank you, girl. And and you know what? Fuck all those people who gave this clip shit on when this trailer came out. Nope, this is MJ being fucking Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck you haters. Don't, no. No. Oh, but yes, Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Probably my third favorite Spider-Man movie, but puts in great company.
Yeah. Number two.
Loved it. Number two?
Yeah.
Where do you rank it?
What, out of all of them?
Like, what's your number one?
Oh, number one?
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
Oh, the 2002?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably my number 4.
Campiness is...
Yeah, it's definitely my number 4, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Spider-Man 2. Yeah, maybe Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, for me it's Spider-Man.
The more I think about it, yeah, because that one was really just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like I said, it's Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, and then probably this one. But, like, that's really good company. And then 2002, I wouldn't even put that far behind that, because that's really good. Yeah,
that one's really, really great. Just beautiful storytelling.
If the biggest argument I have against it is his suit, that's probably... No, it's not even camp, it's his suit.
I actually liked the highlighted webbing on the suit. I actually liked that look to it.
No, not Spider-Man's suit, Green Goblin suit.
Oh, okay, yeah, it did kind of look like a mech.
Yeah. In fact, I'll go ahead and go back to one of my earlier videos where I talk about Spider-Man versus Batman Begins. I did that comparison, like, probably a couple years ago. And I give Batman Begins the villain point. And it's definitely been one where I'm like, why did I do that? Because that's so Willem Dafoe. It's definitely one. Like I
but,
added that
Cillian
together.
Murphy, but you said Batman Begins, right?
Yeah, Liam Neeson was great in that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, so you would consider Cillian Murphy the underboss of that movie, like not the real threat.
Oh yeah, no,
Because
Liam Neeson's the villain there.
Even though he posed such a small threat to Batman in that, he steals that fucking movie, dude.
I don't know if I'd say he steals the movie. He does a great job.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really great in Red Eye. Have you seen that?
No, I've not seen Red Eye.
It's like a suspense movie Wes Craven directed.
Ooh.
I think Williamson wrote it.
Ooh, okay.
But
yeah, you got my interest.
It takes place on a plane.
Yeah, I knew that about it. I knew.
Him and Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
It's
that sounds familiar.
He's fucking blood curdling in that movie.
Well, he's a good actor. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is good.
But yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. Probably could have done without Sandman and Lizard.
Yeah.
But I guess you're missing 2 movies then. I don't know. I thought the other 3 villains were handled great, so I can't say too much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a little mad that Paul Giamatti wasn't available for writing.
Hey, and I just want to add, I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Andrew Garfield is not the best Spider-Man, but he's definitely the most improved.
He's the most amazing.
He is amazing. He is amazing.
He really is amazing.
All right.
He really is amazing.
Well, somewhat connected to this, we got Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! What a second half.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of impressed with the first half, but this second half, oh, so good. So goddamn good. So.
I was pissed because I couldn't watch episode 6 when I was done with 5.
I know. Like, I was just like, hey, let's catch up. Hey, let's watch some Hawkeye. So watch 4. And then it was like, well, hey, that was kind of cool. Let's catch up on 5. And it was like, hey, 6 isn't out yet. Fuck.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I was waiting to watch these.
Throughout all of them, I love the Die Hard references. I loved all the Die Hard references. Did you not catch any of them?
I'm trying to remember. I probably did, but
I know there's a scene when the Trustabro guys in the tracksuits.
Yeah,
they're listening to those same Run DMC song that Argyle's listening to when he picks up McClane.
No, really?
For some music, yeah. I picked up that. I was like, ha, yeah, that's cool. Well, that was just the one I picked up on. So, and there was a few other like subtle Die Hard ones. I think they referenced it a few times in script, but some of the shots I did kind of remind me of Die Hard. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Christmas guys falling off the building.
Oh yeah, the well, you have obviously the whole Christmas setting too,
and Christmas because Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I don't care what Bruce Willis says. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Would you say that Lethal Weapon is too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll go there. Pretty much anything done by Shane Black is a Christmas movie at this point, because that's just what he does with his movies.
Well, no, the original, the Richard Donner one.
Well, the original one was, he didn't direct any of those, but he wrote the first Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe any ones after that, I don't know.
I think he directed the like 3 and 4.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Pretty sure.
No, I think Richard Donner did all those.
Yeah. Yeah, he did direct them.
Mm-hmm.
Did Shane Black write all of them?
I don't know about that one. That one might get thready. I know every Lethal Weapon movie is essentially diminishing returns. It starts great, though.
Well, yeah, they're all great.
But speaking of great partnerships, we get Kate and Clint here, which I love their partnership throughout this entire series.
I do, and their bond definitely grew from episode 3 to 4, and you really see it fully come to like actuality in these episodes, and it was really great. Actually, in 4 the most. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah,
I was about ready to say I just really love that he brought her to Christmas, because it's like she lost her whole family. Like she loses her dad at the beginning of the series, and she effectively loses her mom here.
Yeah,
and yeah, he brings her to Christmas, and that feels perfect.
Yeah, that was great. It ended so well. and just everything. Even that final fight battle, like over 30 Rock Plaza.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That looks it looks so incredible, and even
I love them playing with the trick arrows.
I did you notice that they had another pin particle, but this one was red, so I knew like, oh, something's getting shrunk.
Yeah.
Great.
That was awesome.
And of course, one of the biggest things was the Kingpin. Like I had mentioned earlier, it showed that building there from his office. So Vince D'Onofrio is the Kingpin in the MCU. Now, also, well, somebody did pop up, Black Widow's sister.
Yes, Yelena.
Thank you, Elena. Yes, who actually I really enjoyed her character in this. Like,
no, like Clint and Kate have a great partnership, but like Yelena and Kate have a great rapport too, and kind of a semi-friendship, semi-antagonistic relationship between the two of them. I love their dialogue as well.
I was noticing a lot of mirroring of how Natasha and Clint, their rapport was. Yeah. But I mean, it kind of almost, I liked that mirroring that we got of it in a way. Yeah. Which I think might be setting it up for future.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I feel like it mirrors it, but it doesn't feel like a copy. It feels like its own thing, which I really like that.
Yeah, I that was like such a nice touch. And really her whole presence throughout all of this was great. Like her eating that mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, I thought it was crazy how everybody's like, "Oh my god, I've now tried hot sauce and mac and cheese. It's delicious." It's like, you guys have never tried putting stuff in your mac and cheese, I guess.
Yeah, you've always just eaten it like that. You've never added anything.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but
I mean, my favorite thing is crispy fried onions and bacon bits.
I'm weird. I just add a little bit of jalapeno juice to it. It gives you a little bit of a kick.
I've done that before.
Yeah, it's one of the only uses of jalapeno juice I know of.
I have this really nice mango garlic hot sauce that I'll add to my mac and cheese.
Good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, people are acting like this was mind blowing. It's like,
what?
It's adding shit to mac and cheese. Okay.
It's just like adding shit to ramen. Like, yeah. You just don't eat the seasoning packet. Yeah. Your ramen.
Oh, this chicken dust is delicious.
Dust.
Chicken dust. I like the Mandalorian there.
Got it. My in-laws got it for me.
Nice.
The wife got the child.
Oh, nice. That's perfect.
I got the man. I got this one. That's cool.
But yeah. Oh, so we have to ask a serious question here. So Vincent D'Onofrio has returned. Is he the same Kingpin that we saw in Daredevil?
Yes, I think he is.
Really? That's interesting.
Because the events of Hawkeye, I believe, take place a few days right after the events of No Way Home.
I'm not sure about that timeline.
Well, I argue because at the end of Hawkeye, the tree was down, and at the end of Spider-Man, the tree was up.
Well, and I'm not even sure if it's the same years, though, because Hawkeye takes place like 2 years after the blip. I think No Way Home might be like the Christmas before that. God, maybe. Timeline's getting fucking confusing. Holy shit. No.
Well, they're purposely fucking with the time.
Yeah.
I think it is, because if this is the same universe, because we have seen Cliff and Spider-Man in the same area together in Civil War.
Yeah.
And obviously Endgame. But we've also seen Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, and Peter Parker in the same room together.
Yes. I would.
So by that logic, yes.
I suspect. We'll see. Maybe it is. I suspect it may not be. I suspect it may be just alternate realities at this point. Because he doesn't feel quite the same. This actually feels like it was brought up that this was supposed to be a comic book accurate Kingpin, and this Kingpin in Hawkeye feels more like the comic book.
He's fucking super strong.
Yeah, he took an arrow to the fucking chest and just fucking broke it off.
Like a boss, man.
Yeah. And I'm not saying the one in Daredevil wasn't like that, but there was a bit more realism to Daredevil.
Yeah, a little grittierness.
Yeah, so I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying I'm suspicious. I would also suspect that would mean Daredevil from No Way Home isn't quite the same Daredevil from the Netflix series.
But
We'll see.
He's still a cunning lawyer, though.
Yeah, no, he caught a brick because he's a really good lawyer.
No, you just a badass. That's what that means. You are one that would be categorized under not to fuck with.
But yeah, there was somebody. I remember somebody on Facebook posting, "This is the week we finally get to see the return of Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox in the MCU." And I remember thinking, "Oh, that's so unlikely. I don't think we're going to get them both." And fuck, they were right. They fucking nailed
we got
it.
both.
Yeah,
I was very happy about that.
and we got.
I mean,
we got a hell of a lot more Kingpin. Yeah.
I also had a feeling that I knew that I had heard that right before this Spider-Man began production. I was trying to follow Marvel news very, very, very quickly, and just any update is a good one. I had read one that they have secured the stuff, like the rights to all the Netflix property that they had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember reading that going, oh, cool. So that means those characters are now in play for MCU.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, assuming that the actors want to return. But if not, the characters are there.
Mm-hmm.
They are there. So I knew Daredevil and everyone in that and all the characters in that series are on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that was already long secured. So all the speculation, and I figure, okay, so if he's there, I know Matt Murdock would want to represent Peter Parker after the end of Far From Home. I knew that was like, well, yeah, if there's going to be any attorney in this MCU in New York City,
who else?
It would be Matt Murdock.
Yeah,
Matt Murdock. Yeah, it's like, okay, I got you. But I just wonder if too bad he wasn't around for the Soviet Accords.
Yeah. Well, there was always talk of the Russos did want to bring in the Netflix people as in cameos in Infinity War Endgame, but yeah, obviously that never came to be.
I don't think that they could secure contract deals at the moment.
Yeah, and right now, like obviously, I think the biggest ones to get back out, like John Bernthal's ones everybody's talking about. And Jesus Christ, he did do an amazing Punisher.
He did.
I'd like to see Kristen Ritter come back as well.
Yeah, and ironically enough, I hated both of them in their roles that they had prior to these films. Like, I hated Kristen Ritter in Breaking Bad. Hated the character.
I don't I just remember her primarily as Jesse's girlfriend, who pretty much didn't take him on a right path, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't like her performance, and I was like, I just can't stand her. Well,
I didn't think too much of her.
And then when she died, I was like, okay, cool, thank God, we can move on.
Now, of course,
Jesse's gonna be stuck on her.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Now, of course, John Bernthal in Walking Dead. Holy shit. He is insufferable there. Yeah.
He is, and I mean, I also wasn't a big fan of the show either, so...
It was definitely, it was on its downward trajectory. He bailed it right, like the right moment to bail.
Oh, I don't know. I bailed right at the end of season 1 for that.
Yeah, well, season 1 was like the good season, and the only reason to watch after that is to see if they recapture season 1 at all.
No, I watched about half of season 2, and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I already thought this was stupid.
Yeah, let's go hang out at a farm for like ever, guys.
Let's just try and say how much better we are than other zombie content, but yet keep copying George Romero.
Yes,
saying we're doing new stuff here.
Yes.
That's my biggest thing with The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And that show's still going on, isn't it? Or did they finish the final season?
Oh,
I don't know.
I think I don't know.
I haven't watched it for years.
I think they're just trying to outdo Star Trek in content wise.
Well, AMC would probably love that, but I do know it's going downhill quickly. So
yeah,
I think they are trying to do another spinoff, like in the future with kids or something.
Dear
which
God,
it sounded fucking awful. But yeah. Well, TV series not as good as Hawkeye.
No, but the Hawkeye was great. It ended perfectly.
Yeah,
and minus that end credits scene.
Everybody was ragging on that end credit scene, and it kind of made me kind of appreciate it more, because how often people ragged on it. Because it's like,
Well,
it's a dumb scene, guys. Get over it.
It's a stupid scene, but admit it. When you first saw the sign for Rogers the Musical, you first thought like, "Oh, I have to see this."
Yeah.
You saw it was like just as terrible as I thought it would.
Yeah, some of the most low budget shit. Like, who does a show like that with those costumes? Holy fuck!
I don't know. Fun fact though, the lead singing actor in the chorus, that actor was Adam Pascal. And I know of Adam Pascal from SLC Punk.
Name.
Have you seen SLC Punk, Bob?
No, but what? Adam Pascal, I know that name.
Yeah. He was also Roger Davis in Rent.
I haven't seen Rent, so...
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Eddie was his first major role in SLC Punk.
Oh, okay.
In 1998.
But yeah, the people just freaking out. Oh my god, this should have been like indication for a future MCU property. And
I can do this all day.
Yeah, no, I just had to, like, they've already made a gif of it. I can do this all day.
Yeah,
I just had to constantly share that. And it's like, yeah.
So fucking magical.
Like the post-credit scene at the end of Iron Man 3 with Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, that really set up the future of the MCU, didn't it? I mean, they've done shit like that. Get a grip, people. Get a grip. Well, I just personally, I suspect all it is that they probably did shoot a whole scene. They're just like, let's not let this go to waste. Let's just play the whole scene.
All right, guys, from the top.
Yeah. We put it together. Let's fucking do this. Now, somebody did bring up a good idea, which I thought would have been funny. Is, his daughter wouldn't have been too old, but it would have been great to have Ant-Man and his daughter, like, there at the end watching the show after they do the whole post-credit scene, and then have Ant-Man and the daughter being like, wow, Dad, were you really there? And just have him go, yes, I was.
Yes, guys.
Without a doubt.
I mean, just not that time, but yes, I was there.
Oh, no, I was there. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't double check me. No.
I mean, actually, yeah, he could say he was there.
Yeah.
He was.
They didn't actually see me. But yeah, let's see, was there any final thoughts on Hawkeye? I really enjoyed this, though. This was a series I had very low expectations for. Kind of like Loki, but it kind of blew those away. It was great.
Yeah. I did enjoy it, yeah. I'm very excited to see what else they're gonna do for the series. I mean, as far as we know, I think just Loki's the only one that and What If have been approved for season 2.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a season 2 of Hawkeye.
WandaVision or Cap and Winter Soldier.
Well, I do feel like WandaVision's definitely one and done. Cap and Winter Soldier's getting a movie.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do a new Cap movie, and it's gonna be building off of that, story, which I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. So that really leaves Hawkeye up in the air. And are they gonna do a movie, or are they just gonna do season 2? I feel like both are options, and then do we let Clint retire and let Kate take over, or do we keep them both? I think we definitely keep them both around for at least a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe keep them both, and maybe Clint retires.
Yeah.
At the end of Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm. And then everybody can blow up over a female Hawkeye, but it doesn't matter how well they do it.
Yeah.
And I think they've already learned that it doesn't matter how well they do it. As long as they do it well, the real fans will stick around.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
True. But that's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
It's like Kate's awesome, so I'm fine if she takes over.
Yeah, I'm cool.
And Clint's allowed to retire. I think he's saved the world enough. Obviously, like if they do another season, at least keep him in a supporting role. But yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like if they do a movie, keep him there in supporting, maybe just for the beginning. But if they do another season, kind of maybe
just don't kill him off.
Yeah, I feel like they've killed off enough. He can, like, especially after Natasha gave her life, he needs to retire with his family. That needs to be his ending.
Yeah, that does need to be his ending.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are we ready for The final movie. So I think this discussion is going to be interesting because I feel like I definitely know we have different opinions on this movie. That being said, I'm probably not going to disagree with a lot of what you say, too. So I guess I'll just go ahead and dive into what I expected with this movie, which I got to a degree, but not nearly as much. I was literally expecting this to maybe just be like a smaller scale story. Essentially a Neo Trinity story set pretty much mostly, if not entirely, within the Matrix, of them just kind of rediscovering themselves and learning of this world that they're in. I want to say that's maybe 25% of this movie at max. The other stuff I really have mixed feelings about. I actually lean towards liking this movie, but I have so many issues and mixed feelings, and that's part of the issue with this as well. I don't have particularly strong particularly strong feelings about anything that happened in this movie at all. Stuff happened. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried not to have any expectations going into this because I'll admit I'm someone who wasn't a fan of the third film. Mm-hmm. I didn't really like how they took the story and how it would, though I knew it would end with Neo dying. Mm-hmm. I just didn't like how they did it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. A lot of it just felt, I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was a nostalgia grab or they were trying to tell a new story or reboot it.
It felt both.
It felt like a combination of the three. I don't know. I'm still not sure if I hate it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still on the fence.
I know.
I mean, it's a new Matrix movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. There's a lot about it I didn't care for, and I think it's just more from just a sound design and production standpoint. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's one shot in particular where Neo is in his new group of 8 or friends, allies, I don't know.
Nebuchadnezzar Crew 2?
2.0 or whatever, but they're fighting in this dojo area that was a warehouse at some point, but anyways, they're fighting, and then this hobo guy starts screaming at him, I think in French. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's a lot of shots. There's one where they're filming from right behind his shoulder, right at back where my hand is, and in this shot, I don't know if it was just bad footage, but I see Keanu and the guy moving very slowly at a pace, and it's okay, guys, I could tell you're act fighting, and I caught it for a split second, and it was just kind of, oh, well, that was kind of jarring, and then I kind of started looking more at it, and I think the editing in that scene really just got so bad, and at that point, I just started to fine-tooth comb the whole movie after that. And I mean, he did say the line, "I still know Kung Fu." I still felt that should have been the only audio we heard. Nah. In that scene.
I felt it was fairly clear. But again, let's rewind this a bit, because so much of this movie is replaying notes from the original, even so, to the beginning.
It almost opens.
They remake the original opening scene. And I'm still not 100% sure why they did that. Because I assumed that was going somewhere, but it just kind of some sort of training program, I guess, for the agents. Yeah. And that's something. So we have a Morpheus program here who is actually an agent. And you might think, oh, they have something in mind for that. No, not really. It's just a Morpheus program that happens to be an agent. Okay. It's an intriguing idea. And we also have the Smith program, which just seems to pop up for plot convenience. Hugo Weaving apparently declined to come back because he was busy with other projects.
Yeah,
and
so did Lawrence Fishburne.
Well, Lawrence Fish. Okay, we already said we're spoiling it. This takes place 60 years after the original. Did he actually decline? Because I know in canon his character's been dead for a while at that point.
Yeah. Too bad Niobe wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost triggered another paragraph when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But by the time you didn't respond to the first two, I was like, oh, he's probably working.
Yeah. Well, so essentially, 60 years later, there's peace between humanity and the machines, but then there's a civil war between the machines. So now some machines are bad and some aren't, I guess.
Yeah, some still hate the humans, I think.
It feels clunky, and it feels like so much of an excuse just to replay so many notes from the original, which feels unnecessary.
As well as footage.
Yeah?
As well as footage.
Which
I didn't care for that either. Like,
I had mixed feelings.
Why?
Little bits of it were fine, but it's like...
With the new Morpheus scene, that was about the only time I thought it was like, okay, this is how you should use that. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, do we even need a new Morpheus at this point? I feel it's so desperate to just reclaim a lot of the stuff from the original, and it's not necessary, which is frustrating. They didn't need to take this route. But I also have to wonder, like, there's literally a line. Like, there's so many not fourth wall breaks, but meta references in this fucking movie. Like, especially in the beginning, that game program, that is a meta reference. There's literally a line where I want to say the Smith character says, Warner Brothers came to us and said we need to make a new Matrix movie, and we're going to do it with or without you. Do you want in?
Or how about those literal from movie merchandise toys on his desk?
Yeah. It is so meta, and I'm not sure what the point is to that in the end.
I was like, okay.
And it really makes, like, when I heard that line, it really made me think, was that actually a line the Wachowskis were brought into the studio and Warner Brothers said, hey, make a Matrix sequel or we're going to make one without you? And Lily said no, and Lana said yes. And that's how come there's only one of the sisters working on this? Is that what ended up happening?
Maybe.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I still don't know if I'd call this a bad movie. I think it's a well-made movie. I think there's a lot to appreciate here. But yeah, I have lots of questions as to why are we replaying so many old notes from the original?
Or, just why in general.
Yeah, and I feel like I honestly feel like there's a whole movie that could have been told about Neo and Trinity rediscovering themselves in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole movie there where you could, kind of almost do a reboot without doing the first, so much from the first movie over again. You could do that.
And I mean, even more spoilers. Throughout the movie, we see Neo talking to a therapist played by Neil Patrick Harris. We later find out he is a program kind of manipulating their own existence, but keeping him and Trinity just close enough. He's kind of like pulling the wool over their eyes in a way. It kind of pops up all out of nowhere. Yeah. Well, I do think I kind of like where it's she has to, they can retrieve her because there are machines that are friendly to humans. They can retrieve her, but she has to choose to be let out of the Matrix, which makes sense and follows the logic. So I kind of like that. And then when he says, no, I'm not releasing her, then it's like, okay, so he's definitely the villain. Yeah. And then after that, I'm kind of like, okay. There is lots of little fan service stuff. Obviously, you brought the Frenchman, the Merovingian, or whatever he was called. Yeah. Man, they're on that for way too long. Just a little bit here and there, but, he dominates that fight scene as soon as he pops up. He just yells the whole fucking thing. And of all the characters to bring back, he's the one I would be happy never to see again. Well, no. I was overjoyed to see him in comparison to another character.
Well, yeah, I think you're more antagonistic towards Niobe
The
than I
actress.
am. Oh, Jada Pinkett
Well,
Smith.
I think that I don't know. I'm not a fan of her as an actress. I really never have been. So it's kind of just I roll my eyes because I know exactly what we're getting whenever I see Jada Pinkett Smith on there, and it's just I kind of believe in the thing that if one has to reaffirm a statement about themselves over and over, it's probably not that true.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely.
To quote Tywin Lannister, a
Yeah.
king never has to proclaim that he is the king.
That's right. That was Tywin. I was about right saying, wait, isn't that
Yes.
Tyrion? But no, that was Tywin.
No, that was Tywin.
Yeah,
That
it was definitely Tywin.
He may have been a cold-hearted prick, but he was knowledgeable.
Yeah, no, Tywin had his moments. He was a piece of shit, but he had his moments.
Ass, but man. And also Charles fucking Durd, like
yeah, Charles Dance, fucking awesome.
fucking damn, yeah. But back to the Matrix.
Oh yeah, I know.
Ugh.
We get we get the whole thing with Neo getting out of the Matrix again, and so much of it getting replayed, and
almost beat for beat, and it's like, oh, now that we're friends with them, we could have strawberries. Look, this is an android. It's my friend.
Yeah. And they had the weird android thing where like the programs could interact with the real world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do feel like this movie is getting steeped in its own mythology so much.
Why? It's not even fan service. I feel it's just self-service to it. It's self-serving itself. Like it's just like.
And I do want to make something clear. Anybody who says Wachowskis aren't talented is insane. They are wildly talented, but
they are.
Maybe they disappear up their own asses a bit. I don't know. I don't know if this is Lana disappearing up her own ass or if this is studio mandating it. Maybe she wanted to tell us a smaller story with Neo and Trinity. The studio's like, you have to replay the first one. You have to do like The Force Awakens in this or something. I don't know. It's possible. That's the thing, like, as far as basic filmmaking, I think this is well done, but like the story just
yeah, I mean,
it has its moments.
Well, what I remember the most about the first two Matrix films, for example, are the crew. Yeah. This crew is forgettable. And easily dispensable too.
I will say maybe part of the reason why I liked it more is because there is so much of the crew that was from Sense8, which maybe that's why, because for me it would just be like, oh hey, it's so and so. Oh hey, it's so and so. So maybe that gave me more of an attachment to them than the movie deserved. Because if you didn't have an attachment and you're not familiar with Sense8, that tells me something.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Sense8.
Yeah, there are three cast members from Sense8 who are part of the new crew.
Okay. Well, yeah, that would make way more sense.
Yeah, well,
now,
obviously,
I will say though, the actor who played the new Smith, I did like him.
I do think he did a good job. I think Neil Patrick Harris did a good job too. I feel.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
I noticed something subtle about him immediately, and it was like he has a lot of blue on.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that throughout the whole movie, that before he was first unplugged, there was a lot of blue everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I did notice that immediately, and of course, the more red in the other atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
There was subtle things that I did appreciate and enjoy about the movie. It was just more the story was kind of all over the place.
I know. Well, I like how at the end we actually get Trinity flying. I really liked that. And I like the idea of like maybe just like it was something I thought they would do with the original trilogy where Neo wasn't the one, he was the first one and expanding it to other people. I like that. But this is way too late to be going for that idea. But I really don't understand why they took this route. And I really suspected maybe studio mandates just replay the greatest hits from the first movie. Because why are we doing this?
That had to have been it.
It really sounds like I'm ragging on it. I think in the end I kind of enjoyed it, but I wasn't thrilled. And I feel like the Wachowskis probably like to make movies that get people, like, engaged. So I would probably say a reaction like I have to this is probably something they really don't want, because I'm not super engaged with this. I'm not invested.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was fine.
It was, yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it's just meh.
I
mean, like I said, I wasn't too impressed with the third one.
Well,
I kind of just thought it went downhill from the beginning.
I'm not too impressed with the second or third one. I've rewatched them a couple times.
There's a lot I didn't like about 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot I didn't like about 2 as well.
I feel like with a lot of what they set up in those movies, there's some cool ideas they throw out there. And I don't feel like the movies ever even reach the full potential of the ideas they set up in those movies. And then this one, maybe even kind of the same way. Like, there's some fun ideas in here, but they don't really, like...
They don't explore them.
Literally, I know I brought this up already, but why are we fucking remaking the first scene from the first movie? Why are we doing this?
I don't know. I mean, they even did the generational gap part where it's like, you might know my so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. That wasn't really necessary, but all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also, like, I understand why the character Niobe was put in there, but I also feel that the character could have been anybody else who survived at the end of 3.
Yeah, no, it could have been Link.
Link. The pilot from the second and third, right?
Yeah. I think there's not that many huge characters left.
Maybe that guy who was the president-like character under there in the third and the second.
He would have been so fucking old, though.
He would have been, but they made Jada look fucking old, and
yeah, but even she wouldn't have been nearly as old as he would have been.
I think he would have been a good person for it, because in the end, him being so against Neo, even up until the end.
Yeah.
But having him see the progress.
I mean, I would
Neo achieved. I think it would have been better.
I would
as a final arc for him, but. That's just that's me.
I am absolutely on board with more Harry Lennox, because he's a pretty fucking good actor.
Yeah, he is.
But to my understanding, this still follows, like, they've done canon for, like, stories outside this that I'm not familiar with. And to my understanding, this follows that canon still. So there's lots of background stories we don't know, and lots of stuff that they need to follow that I don't know the full details behind them. But there is, like, actually so much canon to the Matrix, and I've lost track. If you're just watching the movies, you're only getting a portion of it, and that's pretty much where I'm at. So
when it comes to icebergs, this Matrix one goes pretty deep. Yeah.
It's, like I said, I think Bobby's flipping between meh and bad on this, and I'm just, I think it's fine. But I don't, like, if you're going to come at me and say, hey, this movie has this problem, this problem, this problem, my response is going to be like, yes, I agree.
Yes.
I'm not going to fight you, because I see all the problems. I think I enjoyed it enough, but it's got problems, man. I am super disappointed. Not unbelievably disappointed, but I don't know. I think what I really hoped was that this was Lana Wachowski being like, I have a great idea for a Matrix movie. Let's do this. And she got the studio all excited, and they made it with her. That's what I was hoping for with this. And as I watch it, I don't think that's what happened. I literally think this might be Warner Brothers threatening them. And one saying, fine, go ahead and do it. And the other one saying, no, I still want to maintain control. I think this is them maintaining control. But yeah, that was the Matrix.
Yeah, I think, like, what puts me the most on the fence is just because I think of it just like from like an editing standpoint, and like just sometimes cinematography. I mean, there's some shots in here that are fucking beautiful, but just some I just question, like, why do that? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just
Yeah. I was hoping this would be the one to kind of redeem the Matrix franchise and kind of just be a nice, it doesn't have to be a final entry, but just be like a nice continuation without like going insane into it again. But no, it went insane into it again.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, any final thoughts? I think I've said my piece a couple times.
Yeah, I've said mine too. I just
Well, that was a fun episode.
That was.
Outside technical issues, editing.
Yeah. Well, yes. I guess on some cool news, I let Bob know this. I happened just to be in Google. I was looking for something throughout the Google various apps in it, and I happened to skill on podcast, and I was like, huh. So I typed in ours, and we are number 6 on there.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's kind of awesome. So I just wanted to say, if you happen to use Google to listen to your podcast and you listen to ours, thank you very much.
If you listen to this podcast, period, thank you.
Yes, if you listen to it, period, thank you. We both very appreciate it so much.
And I don't want to discount the people who watch on YouTube. You're getting your Genesis one probably sometime next week. But it's a lot of fun doing this podcast. But next week, doing Witcher season 1 and 2. I'm gonna make Bobby watch that.
Yes,
I'm gonna do some catch up on season 1 throughout the week. I'm probably gonna finish season 2 tonight.
He's gonna make me watch it because when he asked me about it, I was like, I barely made it past episode 3. Couldn't stand it. He's like, well, if we're gonna talk about it, I was like, okay. But I also pitched one of my favorite movies to talk about.
Death to
and
Smoochie?
It happens to be one that has been on your watch list for a while.
Yeah,
so.
no. It's one, like, when it came out, I wanted to see it, but I just never got around to it. And it's just been there for, 20 years now. It's been on my watch list.
Get ready for a lot of one-liners that, they're not really PC. Some don't age that well, but, don't age well in a way where it's still funny, but it's not that cool.
I do want to point out, I did some searching for it. It's not streaming anywhere, so I'm probably going to just, rent it or something. But
okay,
I look up on Amazon, and there's no Blu-rays available. There's a $9 DVD. And I can get a fucking VHS. And I'm like, what? How?
I'm still on, you can get a VHS of it.
Yeah. That is kind of shocking.
Do they sell VCRs?
Yeah.
They do? Okay.
Well, no, let's see. So, okay, the VHS is
what about the
used.
coax hookup?
Yeah.
What about the coax hookup?
I have those still. So,
okay. I do.
If I really want to, I could watch that. It's either spend $9 on a DVD or spend $10 and get the HD version digital. So I'll probably spend the $10. But yeah, I think that's crazy. There's no Blu-ray release for that.
It is.
It's not that old.
That is.
But we will talk about that in a segment that we have yet to title. Dollar bin gems. I don't know. Well, this obviously is dollar bin.
Video store gold.
Yeah, potentially. We will. We have ideas.
We have ideas, yeah.
But we're going to talk about Witcher and Death to Smoochie. And when I say Witcher, it's going to be Netflix because I've not played that much of the video game and I've not read the books.
Neither have I. So we're just solely going to be diving into the Netflix lore.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I think now the Netflix version might be the most popular. I know it was largely inspired by the success of the video games, but I think when people talk Witcher anymore, they're talking about the Netflix one.
Yeah, most likely.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll talk about something that Bobby didn't really get into and I love. And then he's going to show me a movie that I've been meaning to watch that he loves. So, hey.
Yeah.
So that's what we got planned for next week.
Yes. Yeah, that is what we have on the docket.
Well, everyone have a good one.
Take it easy.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.